My name is Tina Floridia. I am a senior associate attorney here at Skillern firm. I have been practicing here since 2016, straight out of law school. It was the first job out of law school and I'm enjoying it, so I'm still here. What inspired me to practice family law? I got my bar results and kind of stumbled into an interview with Matt Skillern, and 10 minutes into it, a week later, I have a position, an offer, and I was like, I can do it for a year, right? It's great. He laid it out. I would be, exposed to a lot of different experience in office settings, mediation settings, a lot of court experience, like a good mix of all of it. And I was like, okay, this is great experience. This is the first job out of law school. Like, let me give it a shot, take a chance. He was willing to take a chance on me, and that 1 year commitment that I told myself turned into, I'm here, going into my 8th year with him, and so glad, and wouldn't look back.
What philosophies and personal values drive your approach to family law and client interactions?
Being just is as realistic with the client as you can. I mean, clearly everyone has expectations, and every case, there's a lot of similarities in family law cases, but every individual case is very different. And when you have clients coming in, this is a very not happy time in their life. It's probably one of the hardest times in most people's life that they'll go through, dealing with either with a divorce or some kind of custody issue with their children. And I want to be encouraging and be supportive, but also give them a realistic expectation and not try and sell them this really pretty picture that I really can't deliver at the end of the day, or that's just not something a court can deliver, or that the law doesn't even allow. So I just try and be as honest as I can with the client in supporting what they want, and really using the law to help them as much as I can, because there's a lot of things in the law that we can use and we can't use, but I think just setting their expectation and giving them a realistic outcome is what gives them the support they need.
What do you find the most fulfilling about helping families navigate legal challenges?
I think being a family law attorney is like a specific time in someone's life. Like I just said, it's probably one of the hardest times people go through, and I think it's a privilege and an honor that someone's going to seek me out to say, hey, look, I went to your firm, or I talked to you, or I read something, or someone referred me, and I really need your expertise. I want your help to get me through this. And that person kind of just relies on everything you say. So it's a lot of pressure sometimes, but I think that keeps me accountable and make sure I want to do the best job, because I'm someone else's support and help in an area that where they don't know.
What motivates you to keep pushing forward in such an emotionally demanding field?
Unfortunately, our society has a lot of divorces, and we have a lot of child custody issues, and I think that advocating for people that can't do it themselves because they're not a lawyer, or they don't know how, or because it is so personal, I think you want to just keep them positive. I think because it is such a demanding field, and it is an emotionally demanding field, that you need someone that can be an advocate, that is able to separate the personal issue and really do treat it as a job. This is a hard area of law to completely just say, I'm professional and there's no emotion, because it's impossible. You can't. I would never survive in this job if I said I have no emotions attached to any of it. But being able to treat it, each case is saying, this is my job. Like, I can't take it home, because then I will get emotional about it, and my client's emotional, so I need to be that support system for my client to say, look, I understand, and between you and I get it, but now you need the professional and the legal advice that is not the emotional side, because you can turn to your family, you can turn to friends, and everybody loves to turn to Google and look things up, and you don't get that more professional, non-emotional side. And I think it's a fine line that family law attorneys have to be able to walk. I am sympathetic, and I empathize with people, but I also have to be, again, going back to giving that realistic expectation, because the law does not set up for every single possible outcome, and everything that works for mom and dad A or family B is not the same. And I hope that I can help, in creating something that does work for that, that's in bounds with the law.
What lessons have you learned from your clients that have impacted your professional growth?
Professionally, personally, communication is always a key, and I think that is truly one of the biggest things that no matter what, as a professional, in my professional life and in my personal life, just try and keep those lines of communication open all the time.
What is one personal strength that you believe sets you apart as a family law attorney?
I think that I'm a pretty strong personality, and I think there are a lot of strong personalities in the field of law, especially in family law, but I do I do think that I'm very straightforward and very direct. Again, people can turn to the family and friends and to their lovely best friend Google and everything to just say like, oh, well, I saw this and I want that and this is my expectation. And I think you need that, and I think people need that, but I also think it's important to just be realistic. Here is likely what the court will do or what the law even allows a court to do, and just giving my advice without that emotional side. And I think I have learned, and I've had feedback from clients that they appreciate that they appreciate, well, you're not just trying to sell me a service or get me to hire you, you actually care, and telling the hard truth sometimes, like, you're not going to get that, or that the law doesn't allow for that, is hard to tell a client, and sometimes they don't initially take it well, but I have learned doing this that they do appreciate it, and that they are thankful that, hey, at least I knew it was in front of me.
What message would you like to share with individuals who may be struggling with their own family law challenges?
Listen to what you want to do, and going to other outside sources I think is absolutely essential. I think you need to be able to talk about it, whoever that is to. I will say consult an expert, consult a family law attorney, absolutely. I think it's just important. I think it is such an emotional time in someone's life, and it's hard. And I mean, the law changes all the time. I mean, everyone here in this office, including myself, like, we have that family code on our desk at all times, and even you get a new family code a year and the law changes, 6 months after. So it's a constant learning process, and I do that because it's my job and I'm interested in it. I'm not doing that for medical things or other things. So people aren't doing that, and when you don't rely on someone that is constantly updating themselves and doing the continuing learning, they might miss something, or they might not know. There's that fear that I don't know what I don't know, and I think that's the scary part. So I think anyone going through any kind of family law issue at all, even if you just consult with an attorney, I think that would be the best advice that I could give.